Life is pretty quiet for people living in these remote areas of Ogama and Oscoda County.
This is a little piece of heaven out here.
Solitude is the point for the people who live here, but within it lies a frustrating problem. They cannot get access to landline phone service.
It's so hard to believe that they can put a man on the moon, they can give you a heart transplant, they can do anything under the sun except to give us a 3-digit exchange.
This licensed telephone company sits just miles away from the unserviced areas. Glenn Wilson, the owner of the company, says he's been trying to provide service for these people for more than 2 years.
I have a license for all zones and exchanges, okay? These people don't live in a zone or exchange.
You could call it a black hole for phone service. 2 separate areas that overlap both Ogama and Oscoda counties, totaling more than 70 square miles.
These people live in a donut hole. The West Branch Exchange goes north so far, the Rose City Exchange goes west so far, the mile comes down south so far, Roscommon and St. Helen come over, and you end up with a big donut hole where there is no telephone exchange.
And that's been a huge concern for homeowners in the black holes.
Something you think about every single day. Every day you worry.
Many of the people out here are just like Dara and Stuart White, retirees dealing with the phone service fallout.
At 69, there's a possibility that one of us or both of us may need an ambulance, and wouldn't it be nice if we could call one instead of sending up smoke signals?
Now, I know what you're thinking. What about cell phones? Everybody's got them. But for the people living way out here, reception is spotty at best.
We've got 2 of them in the house, and neither one will work.
The Whites even spent money on this device that's supposed to boost cellular service, but say that hasn't helped them make a connection.
You can't boost a signal if there is no signal.
That's left them with no reliable way to call these guys.
Ogama County 911, what is the address of your emergency?
And a desperate concern for their well-being.
With his cancer, pending cancer that keeps cropping up, and unfortunately my medical problems cropping up, yes, it's a very high concern.
Let's go back to the problem at hand. These areas don't have an assigned carrier to provide phone service. Glenn says it's up to the FCC to assign that carrier. Problem is, he says the FCC wants the Michigan Public Service Commission to offer advice.
The FCC says they're waiting for the state to give that advice. Michigan is the only state that will not give that advice.
This company says they've already spent thousands setting up service for these areas without any guarantees that they will be named the carrier.
It's not about profit for a company. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Until the issue is resolved, these Americans will have to wait and wonder when our nation will answer their call.
We're both military. I'm Marine, he's Navy. We served our government. We've served our time. We've given ourselves to them. Why can't they give something back to us?
What would I want to do if it was my mom or grandparents or family that was stranded out there with no way to call for help? When they feel that and they pick up the phone and they call the FCC, that's when the FCC is going to take action.
In Ogama County, I'm Evan Dean for Northern Michigan's News Leader.